Alexa Grasso, score and do damage with counters, and potentially finish the fight with a counter. UFC Seattle, round 3 recap. UFC got exactly what they wanted here in the main card. 6 fights, 6 finishes, 5 knockouts, 1 submission. So let's get right into the main event. And that's Israel Adesanya against Joe Pyfer. And Joe Pyfer gets the knockout in round 2. In a fight where I feel he didn't have to figure much out. Israel Adesanya just kind of gave him the answers. It would have been nice to see this fight go a bit longer to see exactly what Joe Pyfer was made of. I feel Izzy had a very bad game plan. He started off good, but then just started to kind of feel the crowd and want to get into a brawl. And that's not something you want to do against a power puncher. So early on in that fight, he was controlling range very well, was doing damage with leg kicks, was picking his shots. And then something happened, and he decided to turn into a late 1990s UFC fighter. And that is not something you can do in modern day UFC. You know, low stance, he was coming in with just hands down, just right in Joe Pyfer's face. And I don't, that's something we haven't seen from Izzy. So I don't know if that was him just trying to be entertaining later in his career on a 3-fight skid, just nothing to lose. But that is not the disciplined and calculated Izzy that we've seen over the years. So congratulations to Joe Pyfer, but I feel that's a fight that he didn't have to figure much out. He was just given the answers to. So on to the co-main event. Our underdog lock of the week. Back on track finally after 3 straight losses. Alexa Grasso gets round 3's underdog lock of the week back on track. Look, it started off a bit slow in the first few minutes. Grasso was patient, circling the outside, waiting for those counters like we talked about in the breakdown. And she found it. She found 2 or 3 before she really found that kill shot. And she hit Barber clean and spun her around and then jumped on that rear naked choke quick. I mean, it was something to see. Hopefully Maycee Barber's okay. Don't really know what happened toward the end of that fight. With her, you know what I mean? She got knocked out and choked out all within 5 seconds. So hopefully she's okay. But I think that's the last we're gonna see of Maycee Barber for the year, and I think that's the last we're gonna see Maycee Barber challenging for a top 5 spot. So awesome win for Alexa Grasso. You don't question championship pedigree. Michael Chiesa, Nico Price. Not much to talk about here. Michael Chiesa gets the first round submission, kind of like everyone predicted. Nico Price coming in on short notice, also his retirement fight as well. It would have been nice to see him get some kind of recognition for his last fight in the UFC. I mean, he had almost a 10-year stretch in the UFC. It's just something, the camera panning over to him, putting his gloves down. Maybe not a full interview, seeing as Chiesa was the hometown guy, but that's neither here nor there. Congratulations to Michael Chiesa getting the rear naked choke in his hometown in his last fight. Julian Erosa versus Le'Veon Douglas. Look, Le'Veon Douglas has got power, and he is extremely tenacious. I had never seen him fight outside of highlights before this fight, so this was awesome to watch. I mean, Erosa looked okay for the first few minutes, was moving all right, landing a few shots, doing what Juicy J usually does, but goodness, the second he got touched, the whole fight changed. Like the second that Le'Veon Douglas touched him with some power, I mean, that he wanted nothing else to do with it, and he was on the back foot. His front leg got chopped down. I mean, his mobility was compromised within 60 seconds of the fight. I mean, that fight went downhill fast, and I mean, it ended, what? Yeah, 3.5 minutes into the first round. And yeah, every single strike that Le'Veon Douglas hit Erosa with, which is they're showing 29 significant strikes, all of them were significant. Every last one of them. Very significant. So congratulations to Le'Veon Douglas getting a very impressive win in his UFC debut. Next fight, Mansour Abdul Malik versus Yusari Belgari. Look, this guy, Bulgari, has reach, and he uses his range very, very well. Malik didn't have an answer for anything. I mean, he was just staying patient. You're thinking he's kind of waiting for his shot, but no, he couldn't figure out the puzzle. I mean, he could not get past the reach of Belgari for anything. I don't know how many, let me kind of take a look here, how many strikes he landed. Yeah, he only landed 16 significant strikes. I mean, then those were hardly significant if you ask me. So Malik's got some stuff to clean up. We were on Malik in this fight, and not a good look. Not what I was expecting to see from him. I was expecting him to crash the pocket more. I was expecting him to force just grappling exchanges more, and he wasn't committing to anything. Very half-hearted with a lot of the stuff he was attempting. So it'd be nice to see him bounce back, but he took a ton of damage. Bulgari was beating him up everywhere the fight went. So, and he got finished up in the toward the end of the third round. He was hanging in there and hanging in tough, but midway to later on in that third round, he had no power on his strikes. I mean, he was just trying to reach and clinch the whole time. So he's got some stuff to go figure out with his team between now and his next fight. So awesome win for Bulgari. A lot of people were on him as an underdog this week. So congratulations to all of you who cashed, because I was not on him this week. So now on to the main card opener, which was our fourth and final most confident pick on the evening. Terrence McKinney over Kyle Nelson. Not much to talk about. This fight lasted, less than 30 seconds. He caught Nelson, I want to say, a left high kick, and Nelson even got his hand up and blocked the kick, but it just had so much impact that still knocked him off his feet. Terrence McKinney jumped on him from there and just landed a bunch of hammer fists, and ref stopped in and saved him. So awesome win for Terrence McKinney. I mean, this guy, what is it, 8? I think it's 8 first-round finishes, they said. But one thing I didn't like hearing is this guy hasn't gotten a bonus. And still, it doesn't look like he got a bonus after this fight. So hopefully after his next performance, let's get this guy Terrence T-Rex McKinney a bonus check, man. Come on now. So that's going to do it for my main card recap. Later on tonight, Chase and I are going to go live, and then we're going to break down the whole card. I was working for the prelims. Chase was watching a lot of it, so he's going to kind of run point on that. And then we're going to get into the main card together again. So thank you for listening. I will see you next time in round 3.